Well, there's an interesting issue about the pharmacological overall drugging of our children. Uh, the subject is something that's been kind of talked about in, I guess, more of the alternative media outlets, primarily around surrounding the subject of the school shootings and really just the kind of manic insanity that must be at the heart of all of this. And there is a vein of thought that suggests that this insanity isn't really an innate thing in humanity, rather it's something that's being artificially created through the pharmaceutical industry by these kind of side effects of these drugs. Side effects, really there are no side effects. There are only effects of these drugs. They're just effects that we don't really want to talk about too much. You know, because if we do, then we'll probably get sued. So, yeah, it's better not to talk about that. But the industry of pharmacological poisoning is pretty lucrative, so it's something that's been able to survive even though it's so detrimental to health. Same thing as Monsanto and really just the industrial complex in general. You know, it's so powerful that it can't be fucked with, as it were. So this is a topic that, particularly if you think about how many children today are being diagnosed with things like ADD, depression, social anxiety disorder, and the like. I mean, it's something that if one were to be just an objective observer of all this, you would think that America had some kind of a disease, or it was some kind of non-human creature that I guess evolved a brain that was just incapable of, you know, it doesn't make any sense is what I'm trying to get at here. It doesn't make any sense for us to be so clinically, we rely on the diagnosis of these psychiatrists and things that have no legitimacy, even in their own field. They have to admit that there's no scientific backing for any of the claims that they make. So it's something where, more or less, we have kind of an insane, I mean, this is really just an insane culture that we have developed, and it's just increasing and worsening with time because more and more kids are going on these drugs. I mean, it's just, well, what the fuck, you know, like, how did the parents of this generation get to be so fucking controlled that they believe sincerely that they're helping their children by poisoning them? And so, I mean, it's just remarkable. I can't even believe that this is called the human enterprise is a disgrace. I mean, not only do we have this drugging of our children, but I mean, my God, we have the destruction and poison of the planet. We have through pollution and waste. We have all of these conditions that are completely out of whack, and the ability to recognize it is the most important quality and ability that we need to be able to cultivate in our society. But unfortunately, most people are stuck watching the television and working their daily jobs and going home and eating, watching television, going to the mall. I mean, we don't have any kind of conditions that are going to be able to heal this problem. And so more and more backlash is going to be sent to the government. The government's going to regulate even more heavily on our lives, and ultimately it's going to be worse than 1984 and worse than A Brave New World. We're headed in that direction, and it's undeniable. And so, I mean, just look at it. We have these problems, and none of the infrastructure, none of the systems that we have in place are able to deal with these problems. So my suggestion is to really, first of all, just become aware and try to make other people aware of this situation as well. But I mean, at the same time, well, really don't shut up about it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, well, I don't want to be disruptive to the natural flow of things. Well, you know, I mean, honestly, if you're not doing if you're not enlightening people, then as far as this notion of pharmacological poisoning, then you're contributing to the problem at this point. And I guess that's really just my point. I mean, this needs to be driven in like a stake into a vampire's heart, because if it's not, the vampire is going to come back or suck the life out of the human race. I mean, it's just incredible. So I guess that's all I wanted to really get off my chest. Love and gratitude, YouTube, and all you YouTubers. Alright, peace.